Wait it. Wait, hey, Phil. Oh,
Hey.
you're maybe supposed to be here. Well, yeah. Glad you're here.
How's it going?
4 minutes, 4 minutes, still show time. Get your puppy. Maple. Hello.
A little delay.
Hey, buddy.
Had a delay.
Good. Which is what I did. Yeah. So.
Wait. Not too bad. You're good.
I didn't grab one.
Those are definitely good.
You pass them around the bar.
I got one, I think.
They
don't have calories.
That's right.
Wait for a minute.
Cookies.
You know.
I mean,
Sugar's in the bananas.
I lived there on, I think it's Friday. And I think it's still good in Chick-fil-A.
Oh, I was there Saturday. It was busy, but it wasn't. Yeah, it was busy.
Yeah.
I am home
For you last night.
Monday.
Didn't go, I guess.
Yeah,
I was online.
I was gonna say, I came home from Central River Singer board meeting Monday night. I'm home about close to 7, and they were filled, just barely backed out on the.
That'd be so great.
Oh, yeah. One car length.
I thought sure they had it on the land.
Yes,
Yes.
Were they taking 2 lanes to the drive-thru?
No, I'm gonna move it up, and then we'll discuss, and then I'll let you know. You bet.
Yeah, for sure.
But it was.
Oh, good.
But then I went to the grocery today. And it was not a car.
Oh, no kidding. We're all going to 12th Street. Is that what you're saying?
Should be useful. So I do wonder how much of it is.
Art,
From us.
absolutely. Thank you for all your help.
Interesting.
Oh, surprise.
Crazy.
Pretty good.
I'm surprised he didn't handcuff you guy across the head.
Oh.
Yeah. You tackled him, you guys.
Good.
Couldn't have the last like.
Yeah. Last
Some
one.
security.
Yeah.
Phil. Good to meet you.
I can take it.
I'm in for. No December meeting.
There will be
We'll see.
December meeting,
See if I'm here. I'll hope to be here.
December 9th.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Okay, 6 o'clock. You ready?
No, Sarah today?
All right, it's 6 o'clock. Call to order this Pleasant City Council meeting this Tuesday, November 18th, 2025 at 6 p.m. Welcome, everybody. It's good to have people here. We'll start with the item 1, introduction and pledge of allegiance, opening prayer reading or expression of thought. Council, is Sarah coming? Do we know?
I'd be happy to do it.
By Ann Arrington. Thank you.
Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and.
Our Father in heaven, we're thankful that we could together tonight, City Council, and grateful for the members of our community that have come to voice their opinions and to be part of the process. We're grateful for this beautiful city that we live in, and grateful for people who do make it great. We're thankful for our police and our staff, our public works. We're also especially grateful at this time for our veterans and those who serve our country so diligently. We pray tonight that as we make decisions, that we'll be able to be insightful, we'll be able to think of future generations, and that we'll be able to make wise decisions. And we are again thankful for all of our blessings, and we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you, Ann, for filling in. Okay, item 1B is declaration of conflicts of interest. Have you reviewed the agenda? Are there any conflicts to declare?
Nope.
Seeing none, we'll move to item 2, consent items. Oh, sorry, 1C. 1C is public comments, question for the mayor or council. How many of you are here for item 7, speed limit changes? Okay, how many are not here for item 7, speed limit changes? So, okay, so for you 3, so speed limit changes, I'm going to move up after item 3, talk about that. That's just the canvas, that should go fairly quick. And we will present some things, and then I will give you the opportunity then to speak to the speed limit changes. So if somebody would like to make a public comment or questions for the mayor or council, not related to speed limits, now's your chance. Art, just a reminder, please state your name.
Art Bingham, 1000 West resident. I just had a public comment about where the pickleball court is. Right to the south of the pickleball court where the retention area is. I'd love to see that be left open some way somehow so the citizens can use that as a public, extension of the park. Right now the fence has been taken down from the parking lot. The pickleball court extended the fence over. And so there's still 3 fences, or 3 sides are fenced. But it's just nice to be able to walk on the top of it. Not proposing like any expense to the city or any improvements, but just really to let it sit for a little bit and see how people use it and utilize it. If it might be a consideration to, just use that space in the future.
Okay, thank you. We'll have a talk about that one, staff. Okay, anybody else? Okay, seeing none, we'll move to the item 2, consent items, minutes of October 28th, 2025. Both open and closed. Closed ones are in your red folder. And item 2B is the bills of Pleasant View City. Any questions, changes?
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve the consent items as stated.
Do I have a
I'll
second?
second.
Okay, motion by Gibson, second by Arrington. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, item 3, canvas. Canvas, the 2025 municipal election. Sorry.
Hey, on your counter, you do have the results. It wasn't in your packet, you have it now. So tonight, what you guys need to do is declare elected those persons that have the highest number of votes and the office for which they held. And also, we're just gonna kind of go through the report. And if you have any questions or anything on that. And then I have a canvas certification that you guys need to sign. As soon as we're done, I'm gonna pass along and I sign that. So on the first page, like that, and this comes from the Weber County Elections Office. There were 6,159 active registered voters, and we had a turnout of 4.67%, which is very good. The number of ballots counted was 2,751. They rejected 8 ballots. And then there was 2 provisional ballots that were casted and they were both counted. They mailed out 6,261 mail-in ballots, and I asked them why that was higher than the registered voters, and they basically said some of them were lost or they were residents that had moved out of the city. So there are a lot of variations for why that was higher. The ballots not returned that they mailed out was 3,510, and there was 133 ballots that were undeliverable. They had 6 ballots that they received past the deadline, and there were 2 ballots that were returned and unsigned. And then the next pages, you have 11 pages, and these are all the precincts I don't know if you want to go through every one of them. It just tells you, see, that was,
I think
So
we
it
could
starts
just
with
go
the
through the
same page.
the total, probably,
okay.
unless you guys
So-
want to go through precinct.
Okay. So everyone just kind of tells you how many registered voters and how many people voted and the percentage in that precinct. But the totals are what we just went through. You guys want to look at those for a minute?
Laurie, the 6261 that was mailed out versus the registered voters, is that the difference for 133?
No, that's, I asked him, I says, why is that higher? And they said basically they would mail out, because people lost their ballots, so they would mail out some more. Or they mailed them out to people that had moved, that were in the city, but then later moved out of the city. Just a lot of weird variations. Or people, their ballots were destroyed and they got another one. Yeah.
So do you need a motion to accept the canvas and,
Huh?
But we gotta go through it first.
or do we?
So what you're,
Just 'cause
is you're gonna declare elected the persons with the highest votes and the office that they. That will be the motion.
Do we need to state names or just?
State names.
Okay. Okay, I can do it.
If you're ready.
So, okay, I don't see where it says that, but obviously, so there we go. I'd like to make a motion to accept the canvas, ballot information and to accept that Steve Gibson is the mayor-elect for Pleasant View City. And Sean Wilkinson and Johnny Ferry are the city council-elect for Pleasant View City. Is that what you needed?
That's
Okay.
Second.
Okay, motion by Yuri, second by Nelson. Does this need to be a roll call where we're all signing or?
It does need to.
Okay,
be
all
stated.
in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries unanimous. All that. Then we all have to sign this immediately following the canvas.
Look now.
I don't know, to see you guys. Find them out.
See ya.
You haven't been retained for special counsel for the next 4 years?
All right. Okay, with the council, I'd like to move item 7 up, which is speed limit change, since we got a full gallery of people interested in that topic. So item 7, speed limit change discussion, possible action to change the speed limit on 1000 west and 2550 north. Let's take them one at a time. Let's do 1000 west. Again, I asked for this to be included, and I asked Chief Talbot if he would do a study, and he has done that on those roads. And we did, just so you know, we did the speed limit test on 1000 west down where it's 40, right?
Yep.
Okay, please go over those results.
All right, so when we do these studies, we have it's a little black box, put it out there so that people they can't see, like the speed trailer, you can put that out and you can see it coming down. We have a little black box that we put out to kind of give us a good, accurate, information, what people are doing when nobody's watching, I guess. So we put the black box out there, on 1000 west. When we do this, we put the posted speed limit as 40 miles an hour. And I'll just go through this real quick. So the way it works, we put the posted speed limit as 40 miles an hour. And then what we've also put in the data collection part of it, the tolerated speed. Now, the tolerated speed is 7 miles an hour over the speed limit. Basically, that's what we would tolerate somebody at. You know, we would say, okay, speed limit's 40. If you go by at 47, there's a good chance if you do get pulled over, you're gonna get a warning. Or you're probably not gonna get pulled over. Either way, you're probably not gonna get a ticket at 7 miles an hour over. Anything above 7, we figure we wanna know those cars separate from the ones within that tolerated speed. So on this one here, we set the speed limit at 40, the tolerated speed was 47. And then it collects how many vehicles go by it, how many are within the tolerated speed, the percentage that are within the tolerated speed, and then the percentage that are going over 40. The interesting thing is, so like, I'll just give you an example on the day that had the most vehicles. It was on the 12th of November. There was 2,353 vehicles that passed the black box that day.
Wow.
Again, the posted speed was 40, the tolerated speed was 47. So there was nine cars that were speeding. So there was 9 cars that went over 40 miles an hour, past that black box that day. And there was, 8 of those 9 were within the tolerated speed. So 8 of the 9 were between 40 and 47. There was 1 car that went above 47 miles an hour, past going down. And then, the high speed that day was 51. So 1 car that was going above 47 was going 51 miles an hour down the,
Was it a
down there.
pickup truck?
It doesn't say.
Like, gee,
A
I
dually.
hope it wasn't a blue F-150. So, couple things that stood out to me, the average speed on that road, of all the vehicles, the average most days was 31 miles an hour. The high was 34. So of all the days that we collected that data, which was from the 6th to the 18th, the highest day was the average. So the average of all those vehicles was 34 miles an hour. The max speed was 51 was the highest day. And the max speed ranged from 43 to 51. So there are cars going, above
Sure.
the tolerated 47.
Chief, can you give us an idea of where it was exactly in that 40-mile zone? Do you know where the box was placed?
I think it was on the speed limit sign down south of the church.
Yeah, it was right down on the speed limit sign.
But
the
it
40
wasn't
mile.
close to either end, really. It was pretty much in the center.
Pretty
of
much right in
40
the middle, yeah.
40 mile
He kept
zone.
it right in the middle.
Yeah, I remember seeing it and thinking, oh, he's doing this stuff.
And that's just a normal speed limit sign. It didn't have like flashing that you're going too fast or anything like
No,
that.
I think
Just
the one at the top
traditional.
flashes, but
Okay.
I don't think the ones down
No,
below
they don't.
Cool.
flash.
And then we're talking about 1,000 West right now.
Yeah.
So would this be, I'm thinking people pulling out of the church and driving 10 miles an hour because they haven't got driving, like what I'm wondering is if we've skewed the statistic low because people are pulling and getting going as they drive by it? That's kind of.
Yeah, so,
The 12th was a Wednesday.
Yeah, that's true. So I mean, you wouldn't. have
yeah,
a
so
ton.
your
They're usually
highest
anxious to get out of church.
speeds were
Yeah.
on, I
Yeah.
don't, this doesn't tell me what day of the week it is, but I think like the 11th and 12th was like a
Tuesday, Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Didn't we have a
Okay.
council meeting on the 11th?
It wouldn't be that.
It was Veterans Day.
Yeah, so,
Okay.
so Tuesday and Wednesday was the highest.
I'm just trying to reason how people are, I mean, I do follow people that are going under the speed limit on that road quite a bit. But it surprises me that that's the norm, that that's the
Yeah.
average, is people are going 6 miles an hour under the speed limit.
Yeah. Mhm.
That's, like, do we need a campaign to get people to, like, it's, I'm joking.
Yeah, that is
obviously.
kind of,
Like,
Well, just
How long did you have that there?
from the 6th to the 18th.
But I do drive it a lot, and that's one reason I brought this here is because I notice going down it, most people are not going for, and I don't know about up, but down. Most people are not going 40 miles an hour. They're doing less than that. So, anyway, that was my proposal. Okay. Is there anything meaningful we need to recapture? Okay.
So you want it to be 5 miles less than 600 west because of.
Yeah, because of all the driveways. That's my proposal. Now, we can either discuss, or would you like to hear some input before you discuss, or? Okay. Okay, now's your opportunity. We're gonna limit it to 3 minutes per person. If you got a spokesman, great. If not, whatever.
State your name. Kevin Bacon. 3061 north, 1000 west.
Just straight serial number.
I'll be bold enough to be the first. I've lived there a long time. And it was a lot of agricultural when we first built. But now it's all homes and it's all little kid. It's just a neighborhood on a really busy street. And so when you consider this, I would really appreciate it. I actually ran for the city council the first time I ran for this very issue. Because the city council was like, one member, I will remain nameless, said, well, if I put my car in neutral at the top of 1000, I coast faster than 30. And that was the rationale. I got voted down. So I ran for city council and failed miserably. I never got it. I failed so miserably, I ran again and still failed. So please consider this, because our street is now full of little kids and it's compounded 10 times by the school. Because now they all come out of the school, they're on that road, on the sidewalks. It's nothing short of a residential area.
Thank you.
Hi, Heather Bingham. I'm at 3346 North, 1000 West, and I actually grew up there. So I've been there minus like 11 years my entire life. And when I moved in 17 years ago, my oldest kid was 5, going to kindergarten and being bused to Majestic. And now, my youngest is 3, but I still have kids being bused. And the problem with 40 at the bottom is people don't stop going 40. They just keep coming. And so ever since we've been there, we have had so many close calls with buses, trying to get my kids, the bus picks them up on the opposite side of the road. And so crossing the road. When my son was in kindergarten, we used to walk and stand in the middle of the road because we had so many cars that don't stop for the bus. And then my junior high daughter yesterday went to cross the road with the other little boy that's in 7th grade that crosses with her. And a car wasn't looking and didn't stop for the bus. And right when they got on that white line, he had to slam on his brakes and go into the bike lane to avoid hitting them. And so my problem with 40 is that nobody cares that it turns 30. And so not only are they going 40 and above, they just keep going 40 and above.
Thank you.
Stacy Child at 3271 1000. I am contested by that. I've seen the cars pass the bus that is stopped with its lights out. I've seen cars multiple times as we're trying to pull into our driveway, almost slam on their brakes, almost hit us. My brother he comes to my house often, and he's complained a bit about it. Just how fast everybody's going and paying attention, they're on their phones, they're looking down. So definitely I would totally be for the 30 and not the 40 up. Keep it all that.
Thank you. Anybody else? How many? Oh, go ahead. As long as we got more.
I'm Caleb Knight. I live 3218 North 975 West, so just off of 1000, just below Orchard Springs. I personally have blown past the going north, that 30-mile-an-hour sign, and forgot to slow down. And we have neighbors that live right at that sign, and I feel bad, and I try not to do that anymore, but I think just to have it consistent the whole way through would make it so much better, so much safer, and be much less confusing for drivers like me. Yeah. But really for the safety of the neighborhood.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Rick Rochelle, 3031 North 1000 West. My grandson and son-in-law were in an accident about a month ago. And they were coming down 1000 and they were coming in, I have a half moon driveway and they were coming into the first part of that. And they were rear-ended. And the person didn't see them. And the thing is the person lives in the area. And that's the other problem is this is local people. It's not people that aren't from the area that don't see this stuff. And he flat out said, I wasn't even looking. And he was doing 40, at least 40. I don't know exactly what it was, but, and he ended up going to the hospital, but he ended up okay. My grandson and son-in-law went, but they were okay as well. I went the next. Cause I got on the couch so quick from the loud noise to find out what was going on that I tore the muscle. Anyway, but it's just way too fast. And the other problem is when you talk about Shorty's Lane, the street's wide. We have a narrow spot when you're first coming up. That's really narrow, and half of the people to the side because they are over the line because there's not enough room to drive for someone. I'm over my time, but anyway, I think it needs to be considered.
Thank you, Rick. Anybody else?
I'm Rocky Child. We live at 3271 1000 West. So I would just like to add my testimony to the others. Because repetition is good, right? But I'm outside all the time. I come home, been out all the time. And it's just a launching pad. People do not slow down. They just keep going up the hill and they go faster and faster. And I know I've seen cars go 60, 70, 80 miles an hour. I guarantee it. They're just smoking up that hill. Probably 2 or 3 every day. And that's going up the hill. It seems like going down, they're not as bad, but going up, they're just still got their pedal to the metal and going. So if anything, I would like to encourage more patrol, honestly, because it just seems like, I don't know, I just would rather prevent an accident from happening than really happening. And it's, from what my perspective, it's happening a lot as they're going up and not slowing down. Thank you.
Okay. For those that haven't, oh, we got another speaker.
$33.74 on 1000. And I have a problem, and I'm sure that many of the others do too, is that I have to back into the road a lot of times. And that hasn't been brought up, but because I have to back into the road and I'm at a spot kind of in the middle where they're coming down the hill, I can't really tell how fast the car's going, and I can watch them coming up. I end up sitting a long time, getting a wide enough open space when I dare pull out in the road, because I don't know how fast that, I don't know if I'm gonna get wiped out. It's just a very difficult problem backing onto that street. So that was what I want to mention.
Thank you. Is there anybody that has a different viewpoint? Who has, yeah, okay. When I said different, I meant, sorry.
Do I need to say my name again? Since
No.
I've already been Mark Bingham, 3346.
Yeah.
I just want to bring up a couple points in like city planning with moving people around and traffic. The more separation you can create from people to road, the safer people feel when they're walking or going to use a road. They've done these studies on like if a person had to walk against a 55-mile-an-hour road versus a 25, they'll always choose the slower speed to walk next to. So in planning, like I'm gonna suggest a speed limit of 15 miles an hour, and then we can settle on something different. But I'll just start out 15. But I would make another suggestion, and that is at the intersection of Mount Orchard and 1000 West to consider a raised sidewalk where that crosswalk is. The school district did a very good job, and that's a European pattern that they raise the sidewalks.
Crosswalk like a speed bump type of
Yeah,
thing?
so they just raise it 8 inches, and there's gradual, so snow plows and everybody can still cross it. but it's just a mind thing where everyone just has to slow down over that spot. So in other cultures, they put a lot more emphasis on the people walking versus the people driving. And we have to look at it and say, well, do we want to like cater to the people that are trying to move up the hill, down the hill, or whatever very fast? Or do we want to cater to the people that are walking around and trying to use the city streets and pedestrian kind of thing? So that was my last thought.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Anybody else?
Catherine Buxton, 3132 North, 1000 West. I wanted to kind of piggyback on what Art said.
So you're in the 40 zone, right?
I am just after the 40 zone.
Okay.
So there's a sign that says reduce speed and a flashing light and then my house.
Okay.
I can promise you the reason you're going 30 miles an hour on that whole road is because I am going 30 miles an hour on that whole road. Because I do not want to hit one of the 100 children plus that I know live to the east or the west. Casey Lane has brought in a lot of young kids of 1000 West. So I am part of the problem and I am proud of it. But our crossing guard had reached out and let me know she couldn't make it. One of our crossing guards, I should say. And she does not want to see any speed up if you were to discuss a 35 across the board, because it's already difficult enough to manage. Kids are crossing the road without her help, thinking they can do it. People aren't really slowing down, and it's a problem. I did review the video from the last time you guys discussed this, and a comment was brought up that we could lower the speed limit on 2550 because there are just a lot of parked cars. I think we should consider lowering the speed limit on 1000 West because there are a lot of people. We're concerned about parked cars, but let's look at the people that are coming through that neighborhood and focus on that. It's even my sister who lives in Plain City, in the quietest part of Plain City, she commented, there are so many people who are out walking in your neighborhood when we moved onto that road. And I'm impressed by it too. So if you were to ever take that information, do it in the summer when there are hundreds of kids walking, people walking their dogs. It's a very busy pedestrian road. And if Lomond View were to come to Orchard Springs, that number is going to significantly increase for students. So
Okay.
my vote would be to lower it.
Thank you. I just want to point out
Please.
that I go 30, not because of you.
Two?
I go because I'm getting old, according to my wife.
Yes. At the end, we're all gonna bottleneck at 2700 anyway. So why do we need?
Thank you.
fast?
Yes.
I'm Paige Knight, so I live on 3200 right off of it. And I was interested in coming because we need to have a conversation on my road, which is a whole other day. But I think, you know, for our church community, obviously the school community is all across that road. So our kids are constantly reaching out to people across that side. They go to activity days across that side. And so to send them walking over there with how fast that road is nerve wracking sometimes. I also personally, selfishly hope that by slowing down that speed, people stop coming off that road so fast. We've had a neighbor dog hit and killed. We have toddlers that cross the road right there all the time. I'm like right down from Orchard Springs, and there's a lot of yelling at cars to slow down. And most of the time I will say they're teenagers going fast, but it would help them to slow down if that road they were coming off, because all of it's residential. Like if they were coming off a road that had other stuff other than residential, I would understand, but where that road's residential and ours is, I would just appreciate if that slowed down to help the speed on our road. That I think we've had them come and bring something on our road to watch, you know, how fast the cars were going and whatnot. And I agree, the summer is so much worse. Summer is terrifying. We moved in years ago and we removed all the plants on the curb because the cute little toddlers in my neighborhood were the height of the plants and they would step out. And we've got a mailbox. That's the other thing. They turn off the road curves and there's a big mailbox thing. So cars are stopped there all the time to get their mail, and these little toddlers would come walking out into the street and nobody would see them until they cleared out that way. So that's my.
You're talking about
Thank you.
Mount Orchard Drive.
No, I'm
3200.
on 3200, so going to Orchard Springs
But yes.
from 1000.
But across the street, they had a problem.
Yeah.
Tall weeds and stuff.
Yeah, so I've been really particular and talked to the neighbors too about keeping things on their curbs down so that people can see. That's what happened with the dog that was killed. The driver didn't see it until cause something was in the curb. So anyway, I would appreciate that help.
Okay, I think the message is pretty consistent.
Mayor, can I say one meeting? Right where I am at 3346, they have that brand new road that goes and meets up to Casey Lane. And I have so many cute kids coming for Orchard Springs and they cross with no crosswalk into my yard because my yard goes back and they can get to the stairs.
Like
And I
cut
also
through.
have a ladder that goes over the fence if they want to cheat a little bit. But, and so that's the other thing that I think could be addressed is like a crosswalk or something, just so people realize that children are crossing there and they're not supposed to. They're supposed to cross at the bottom, but they do anyways because I have a shortcut. They don't have to go all the way around the street. And so we have kids crossing there after school and before school all the time, and there's no crosswalk and people are going so fast.
Steve, yeah.
I have no problem with 30. I think that's fine. And then it's nice that the guys, the people that live on it are supportive of that 30. I'm surprised at their study also. I would have thought it would have been faster. So I'm going to throw just a little bit of a wrench in it, just for thought. But, the reason that we raised 600 or, Shady Land or Shorty's Land, whatever it is, to 35 was to match Pleasant View Drive coming into the roundabout from 89 coming in is all 35. And so, I like a consistent speed limit because right now 400 or 1,000 does not make sense because it changes. It's just, you're going 40, 30, whatever it is. So I just want to consider that possibly. I'm 30 again, no problem with that. But to make it consistent, is there any benefit of that?
Well, my thought was, okay, 1,000 west comes into Pleasant View Drive where it is 30.
Right.
Okay, from about 800 west to about almost 1,100 west.
Yeah.
That is all 30. And again, the residential nature of that road is different than 600 west. So I think it's really hard to compare it to, we're kind of comparing apples and oranges there. Somebody made the comment that this is residential, and it is. It's.
And again, I have no,
That-
I have
that's
no
why I-
problem supporting 30
30.
through there. And I think the crossing of the kids, that's,
Mhm.
and I would almost like to extend that school zone just a little bit to where it, they have to slow down
Yeah.
with the flashing light.
I think that's governed by certain rules of how big you can make it and everything.
Is it? So,
But we can look at that and see.
Is that based on speed though, or is it?
The
Just a-
uniform code and the METC.
But
That would be, that you're trying to limit the expectation down for the school crossing.
But that distance is consistent with a 25-mile-an-hour speed limit versus a 40-mile-an-hour speed limit. It's the same distance.
Yeah,
Trying to keep those up.
the school zone, yeah.
do we have good signage for the school? Maybe not a flashing 20, but is there?
Yeah, they're flashing.
Yeah, I think as far as the school zone goes, that's something that I was gonna bring for both of these conversations tonight. Is you're having people go from 40 all the way down to 20, and that's
Yeah.
huge, that's 20 miles an hour. Where, if it was going from 30 to 20 or 35 is a big difference. And I think both these streets we're gonna talk about tonight, that's one of my main concerns is how fast people are able to go, and then all of a sudden they're gonna slow down to 30, and then
20.
they're back up.
It's gotta be one speed limit for sure.
Question.
And
So when we go to change a speed limit, I know we have to have a study of some sort. Has what's been done, does that qualify us? Are we covered for that? Are we good?
Yeah, we're good. That, normally you would take your study, take the average and try to build your speed limit based on that average.
Okay.
And so,
That last study that we did a few
Awesome.
years ago, it does match that as well. So we're covered
Yeah.
like that.
Just one thing, so I think you answered this question, that section, I should know this, but that section of Pleasant View Drive is 30, right there where it intersects from 1,000.
Mhm.
yes,
And then 900 Is that 30 right there?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, Pleasant View Drive from, at least from the roundabout to 1200 is 30.
Yeah.
Then it
And
goes
then,
to
then
35.
as it connects to 900, that's 30.
Yeah.
So that, okay, that logically flows.
Is everybody good? Can I make a motion?
Sure.
Yeah, I really like the data because anecdotally, we look and we think, hey, everybody's speeding at a high speed. And when you look at the data, there was one person over 47, right? On only in that whole period, only 8 over 40, which is just shocking to me because we all think in our mind it's much higher speed. But I like the average. The averages are definitely in the mid-30s. I think that's, it's
Yeah.
doable.
I don't think
So
we haven't done a study where it hasn't surprised us how low it is.
Yeah.
And I get yelled at my Audi all the time. Every neighborhood I drive through, people yell at me because they think I'm speeding because it's loud and I'm not speeding. And so I do the same thing. I yell at cars in my neighborhood. I think we think that it's, but
If it's 30, people are gonna go 35. So if you did 35, they would go 40. And so you want to do 30 so that they wouldn't go.
well, but that's what's interesting to me is because this is a 40-mile-an-hour speed limit, and we're saying the average speed is a mid-30s, which
Which
is
will
good.
probably still go.
I mean,
So one thing you gotta remember that what the data is showing on this one, in my opinion, what the data is showing is, so the average is 31, but I mean, it's getting like, if a golf cart goes by 10 miles an hour or a car, if our patrol goes down through there at 5 miles an hour in the middle of the night, it's picking that car up and saying, hey,
scooters
so now you
too,
got your
kids on
50 and your
scooters.
5 mile an hour. So that I wouldn't focus as much on the average speed as what the data here is saying to me is this is showing us that the speed limit's 40. The residents are here saying 40 miles an hour is too fast for that road.
right.
And the data is showing that most people are going between 40 and 47, and that's too fast.
Yeah.
So
So
I'm sorry, public comments over.
Ready for a motion?
yeah,
Nobody has any more comments? Are we good? Okay. I'd like to make a motion that we change the speed limit on 1000 West from top to bottom, Pleasant View Drive, down to 2700 to 30 miles an hour.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Arrington, second by Yuri.
As a time frame.
Sure.
I do think we should push this out, with that in our newsletter and as well as on social media and stuff to let people know.
Do we have the 30 mile?
Do we have a
People's love to
flashing
make us
sign
whole.
or
We don't have
a
an
signboard
internet.
we can put up that says speed limit change?
Yeah, we'll put the speed trailer out there tomorrow and
Okay.
But I do think we should also.
And we have some 30-mile-an-hour signs.
I don't know if we'll have enough, so we'll order them in, so it might. take
Okay, so
a-
just,
So as soon as, yeah,
so-
and
They
they get it
can
up.
But
It won't be tomorrow. But
don't we have to give a warning that it's changing, a time period that's changing anyway? We can't just do it.
I
right?
think that we do have to give a warning.
yeah, I can.
The traffic pattern change.
Yeah, that's
whatever.
right.
Yes.
If
Like
we can put up
2
a
weeks.
signboard, say traffic pattern sign or.
Maybe make a
speed.
motion as soon as we can legally do it with
Okay.
proper signage.
so just adding to my motion that we will do that as soon as we can legally cover all parameters.
And I'll second that amendment.
All right. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Mayor, can we have, Stetson, can you put that out on your Facebook, the police's, and then we can share it to the city's Facebook as well and.
Okay,
Put it out on.
thank you, everybody. Appreciate that. I would like to add that originally I voted against Kevin when I was on the city council with him way back when.
No, I remember when you were elected, this was like the first thing that we talked about, the very first.
And this has taken 8 years to
This
get
was the
done, because
very
that
first
is
thing
one of
that
the
he
first
talked
things I
about in
brought
the
up.
very first meeting.
So-
No,
Oh.
well, besides that, he wanted to change the speed limit on that road.
Okay, we still gotta do 2550.
Okay, the next one is speed limit change on 550 north. I'd entertain a motion. No. Okay, so Stetson, 2550.
And tell us what the speed limit is now currently. And is
It's
it,
40.
does it change?
Yeah,
It's
it's
40 the whole
It
way.
does when you go to North Ogden.
No, it's 40.
It changes, it's
North
40,
Ogden's 35.
35, it changes
did
down
they
to
change?
35 out
They've
there,
been
yeah.
35 for a while.
Yeah, so, we kind of have the same issue on both roads. Again, the school zone, you go from 40 to 20, that's a big drop. In that. And then people, as soon as they get through, they pick right back up to 40. The problem that I have down there, and a big complaint is once they get through the school zone, it goes back to 40 and now they're in front of the school. You know, so they slow down to 20, they get through the school zone, then they can go 40, but that's right in front of the school. The rush is right there. We have a lot of traffic, people walking to the rush. We have a lot of people. And I just think it would be a really good thing to lower that to at least to 35. I think 35 is a good number on that one, but and I don't have the statistics with me. We had to reset some stuff on the box and we lost that data. But if I recall it showed out the average is about 36 to 38 most of the time. But again, it's the same as 1,015 years I've been here. Way more pedestrian traffic, way more people out and about in that area than.
But it would be consistent with what North Ogden has, so,
So,
you know.
Yep.
if they're
I-
consistent, no.
Your predecessor, Chief Hadley, talked to me for several years to try to get me to change the speed limit, and I kind of resisted. And then I went and rode with Stetson opening day of school this year, and we went down to that because we had had some complaints from our crossing guards there. And the problem is everybody is, I swear they were doing 47, you know, like they would come and they would stop, they would start to slow down as they passed the 20-mile-per-hour flashing sign. That's about when they would start to slow down. And yeah, I can see why our crossing guards were concerned. One threatened to quit or did quit. She did quit, yeah. And again, it's busy. It's but most of it is school or commercial now. And
Yeah.
if people want to go faster, they can go along 2,700. You know, and we need to treat this more as just a collector, not a artillery. Thank you. Yes, artery. So anyway, that's why I brought it here. My proposal, since I brought it here, is to change it to 35. Anybody from the public wish to address 2550 North? Yeah, they're all here for 1,000. Any comments from the? I'd entertain a motion if there's no.
So there's no sidewalks on a good portion that has no sidewalks.
Then it switches to North Ogden. North Ogden owns part of that road and they are 35. So then you run into the same problem. as that one.
Doesn't you own that entire road or do you split it?
No.
Harrison?
We own it.
We-
I have,
from the-
thank you for bringing that up. I have talked to Mayor about the proposals of changing it, and they're 100% supportive of us changing it to 35.
Yeah, I know people don't
There's a
like
little
the-
portion that North Ogden owns.
Yeah, it's like I said, I don't want to treat it as an artery, but it's still a collector road, so a lot of traffic moves along that roadway because it is a major collector from North Ogden to Pleasant View and back and forth. So it's more just a residential road at 30.
Yeah, and on the whole, north side, obviously you're collecting commercial traffic to and from
You
there,
are.
so.
And staying consistent with what they've got is kind of what our whole
Yeah.
beef is
Right.
anyway too, right? I
Yep.
mean, so. Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we change the speed limit on 2550 north to 35 miles an hour as soon as reasonably possible.
I'll second the motion.
We could have some extra signs.
Yeah, that's right. We have some
Yeah,
extra-
that's.
I'll second. Did you second that already?
Dave,
Oh,
second.
Dave
I
did.
second. You need a sign, is that what you said?
There's signs on 1,000 we can take over there.
I'll give you a sign.
Okay, have a motion by Arrington, second by Yuri.
Marriott.
No, Dave.
Marriott, okay, second by Marriott. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Thank you.
Question, Stetson, for that road, just real, I know we passed that, but why is it because of the sidewalks that the school where the crossing guards are, is that why they're located there instead of closer to the
Cross
school?
both those streets.
Yeah, because, and when we went down, when the mayor and I went down there, we looked at, because the one crossing guard suggested possibly moving walk down by the rush.
Sure.
But the problem is then the kids have got to cross them